You live local, but do you eat local, shop local, travel local? Well, join me and I'll show you how to join the local movement. You'll discover wonderful Kentucky and Tennessee-made products and travel-worthy destinations throughout our region right outside your back door. Not only will you get an inside look at how things are made, but you'll get to take part in virtual day trips, uncovering the people, products, and places that make our region so wonderfully unique. Support the local movement and go local with me, the local traveler. On this week's episode of The Local Traveler, we start our journey in Nonesuch, Kentucky at Irish Acres Gallery. They have items that range from sparkly Christmas decorations all the way to exquisite French furniture. Plus, while we're there, we get reservations at the Glitz and learn how to make their famous Nonesuch kiss. We go from dessert to, well, more dessert. Our next stop is a place where the famous bourbon ball chocolate candy was invented. You might think it's a candy job, but after trying it at Rebecca Ruth Candy's, I can attest that it's not as easy as it looks. I take to the road again, traveling to a big red barn. Chaney's Dairy Barn in Bowling Green, Kentucky has attracted national attention. USA Today experts picked Chaney's ice cream to be the very best in the entire state of Kentucky. You know, being the local traveler is a pretty sweet gig. Join us for your daily dose of sugared fun. This building here in Nonesuch, Kentucky may look fairly run-of-the-mill. It was built to be a schoolhouse and dates back to the 1930s. But what you'll find inside is anything but ordinary. Just 20 minutes outside of Lexington, Kentucky, you'll find Irish Acres. It is located in the peaceful, lush countryside of the bluegrass. However, once you step foot inside the Gallery of Antiques, you'll feel like you've been transported to another world. Irish Acres is family-owned and operated and has been in business since 1974. I'm here with Emily McCauley, and you and your sister both run this, right?
Correct.
And your sister is Jane
DeLauder.
Okay, good. So, and this is a family operation.
It is very much a family operation.
Well, and this is a family operation down to your dog. I mean, you have a dog that is kind of a part-time employee.
Rudy comes to work. He is our greeter. He generally shows up in the parking lot, leads people into the building, and then escorts them out.
That's a wonderful service that he does.
He's a big part of our business.
Well, tell me a little bit about the room that we're standing in. I know this is kind of a new addition here.
This is a new addition. This is the result of my parents' collection of 18th century French antiques. And my father had a vision several years ago to take one of the rooms that we had just used as storage and create a showcase for the French antiques. So he came in with ideas to do French molding and literally, physically did all of the work himself. All of the molding came in small pieces, and he patterned those onto the walls. He put the finish on them. He designed the crown molding and the dome for the chandelier. He did the whole thing. It was a labor of love.
That is quite impressive. Wow. It's just beautiful. Well, and the things, I mean, not only is the building itself and the room itself just so wonderful and beautiful, but the things in it are exquisite. Like this, for example. Tell me a little bit about this.
This is a wonderful chest. We acquired this at an auction in North Carolina, and this is from the cabinet maker Boudin. It's stamped underneath the marble, and he did king wood with beautiful veneer patterns and ormolu mounts and the beautiful marble top. It belonged to a fellow that was an ambassador to France. He actually started Burlington Industries in North Carolina, so we were able to get some of his furnishings. He collected, when he would go to France, he would collect French antiques and bring them home in the 40s.
Well, tell me a little bit about the tour we're gonna go on, because I know this is one room, but each room really has its own theme and has it's just packed with beautiful eye candy, as I like to call it.
Well, we like to put things together in themed showrooms so that people will have a vision on how to use the things in their home, because ultimately that is, we want the things to go to new owners. So we do different themes and different periods of furniture, try to collect them in our different showcases.
Well, good. Well, I guess we're going to get started on a tour then.
Sounds great.
Okay. If you like antiques, you may think you've hit the jackpot when you look around this 32,000 square foot shop. Each display area is separated into different rooms, 50 to be exact, and each one showcases a unique themed collection. This is serious antique eye candy. What I love about this store is that you need not be a serious antiquer to enjoy your time here. Everyone is welcomed and encouraged to browse. So we were in the French room. This is an American room?
This is all American furniture, yes.
Tell me a little bit about some of the pieces that are in here.
Well, my favorite piece in here is this Kentucky corner cupboard. It is cherry with lighter wood inlay, and it's beautiful broken arch pediment. Fabulous piece, especially for a Kentucky collector.
Now we're in this grand room that is right here off the entrance on the main level. Tell me a little bit about this room.
We have collections of hand-blown Christmas ornaments. They're hand-blown and decorated. And the jewelry, we love vintage jewelry. We have a lot of that.
Well, thanks. So I guess we're going to go to the Glitz, I hear.
Let's go to the Glitz.
Okay.
Lunch is served.
Yay! Think you've seen all the decadence this place has to offer, but you haven't even been to the lower level yet. The Glitz restaurant is located on the lower level, and when you enter the restaurant, you might think you've walked into an enchanted fairyland. There are twinkling lights, pink flowers, and crystal chandeliers at every turn. The restaurant itself has been featured in Southern Living and is the recipient of multiple national design awards. But it is the food that keeps the customers coming back for more. Well, and you guys not only cook seasonally, but also you use a lot of local products as well, don't you?
So local, it's really unbelievable. The way that we have the corn that we use just on a couple of menus back, our Silver Queen chowder, the corn is grown literally across the road. That
great.
same gentleman grows our cucumbers in the spring. We have over across the county, we have a blackberry man.
Okay.
And just one lane over, we have a girl that grows grapes. That's her specialty. And we do our grape tart. It's one of the summer desserts listed in here. It's like a Concord grape, but it's a Mars grape. It's just her specialty, and it's on a hillside that you can really see from our front porch.
Well, and you have a signature dessert, I know. I guess I'm going to get to try my hand at it. It's called the Nonesuch Kiss.
The Nonesuch Kiss.
And that was your creation?
That was my creation as a result to a childhood addiction to malted milk balls. It's not a very sophisticated creation, but that is what I loved. And I thought, when we got into the restaurant business, how could I make a big, giant, gooey malted milk ball? So I started with texture, and that's the meringue shell.
Okay.
It's like the center of the malted milk ball, the same texture as that, and then the chocolate is a given. And I purely chose the color of the Jamocha ice cream. I chose the Jamocha ice cream for its color. Because it's the same as the inside of the malted milk ball.
But it's not a secret recipe. They can come down and ask you anytime, and you will.
Absolutely. And there may have been a method to that, too. We want them to keep coming.
That's right.
Kiss.
That's true. Well, good. I'm going to get to maybe pipe some out, and I hear that's a little harder than it looks.
You get used to it.
Okay. Whether you're a serious antique shopper or just like to browse for unique gifts, Irish Acres has something for everyone and items that will accommodate anyone's budget. Just don't forget to make reservations at the Glitz. Your kiss awaits you.
When a Frankfort, Kentucky dignitary stated back in 1936 that the two best tastes in the entire world were of her favorite specialty candy and a sip of Kentucky bourbon, history was about to be made with the invention of the original bourbon ball.
Rebecca Ruth Candies was co-founded by two women, Rebecca and Ruth, back in 1919. They were determined to provide for themselves without the assistance of a husband, which was simply unheard of in those days. Their candies were an instant success, and the business is still thriving today under Ruth's grandson, Charles Boo's leadership.
I get to come to Rebecca Ruth Candies today, and I'm here with Charles and Reese Boo. And Charles is actually, you are the grandson of Ruth, of Rebecca Ruth, right?
That's correct, yes.
Well, tell me a little bit about just kind of the history of the store. And it was Rebecca Ruth, named after your grandmother and another woman.
Ruth was my grandmother and Rebecca was her friend, and they used their first names to name the business back in 1919, which is a year before women had the right to vote. So they utilized their first names instead of using the paternal style of naming a business,
Right.
Smith and Sons. They used their first name. So that was a kind of a statement, I think, that they made when they named the company.
Well, I'm sure she'd be very happy today to be able to see her business thriving and growing under your leadership, and you're still expanding and adding new things. And how many varieties do you have?
Well, we make somewhere around maybe 150 if you include all the seasonal things, and on a more regular basis, close to 100.
Wow, and you have a table, I hear, called Edna's Table?
We sure do. It's a marble slab that came out of the old Capitol Hotel, which had burned down in 1917. It was built in 1854 as one of the original bar tops. There were three sections, and we're really proud to have that. We named it after Edna, who'd been with us for 67 years.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about her. She was like family, right? She had seen your dad in diapers and then seen you in diapers, and she's been around for 67 years.
Sure, yeah. She came to work for us one summer after my grandmother, her father had a small dairy farm. We were talking about dairy farms. And she had a small dairy farm, and she helped her dad bring milk into the city. And so this was her, first off the farm job. And
right.
She really liked it, and she stayed with us for a little while.
She loved it, apparently. Yeah. And she worked till she was 90.
That's right.
You're right in Frankfort, so really you're kind of in a great spot for people coming to the capital of Kentucky. And
well, that's right. Frankfort's a great place to come and visit. We've got a lot of local landmarks here, and many of them are free because they're state-run. And we also have a trolley that you can take and take the trolley and go around and see many of the attractions here in Frankfort. And it's free.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, and I understand with the tour you get to sample some chocolates. I might have heard that somewhere.
That's right. We do charge for our tour, but we do include some samples. So,
that's very gracious of you.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that just looks awesome. Wow. Okay, I'm excited. Do you need to just put the whole thing in?
Oh,
you can't really bite
it's a
it,
personal.
can you?
Everybody has their own style.
Okay, how do you do it? Do you pop it all in, or do you bite it?
The whole thing.
You do the whole thing? Sadly, my mouth is big enough. I could probably do the whole thing. I'm gonna try it. I'm making the camera people really, really jealous and hungry right now.
Yeah, well, no, put the bat down.
Not only can you taste the world-famous bourbon chocolates, but you can also see them actually being created on the Rebecca Ruth Candy Tour. This tour and the candies they produce have had a slew of high praises, most notably from Southern Living, the Food Network, the New York Times, and the Chicago Tribune. You will see firsthand some of the antique equipment still used in production today. With over 120 confections being made at the factory, I see a sugar high in my future.
Yeah, we're going to make a very small batch of single bean origin chocolate right now.
Okay.
So we're going to take some of these nibs, which is a cocoa bean that's been roasted and deshelled. We're going to lay them in here. We're going to take just a little bit of chocolate and mix that in just to kind of bind it together and kind of get it started.
Okay. When do you add the sugar to the process to
Well,
sweeten it?
you don't have to add sugar. You don't have to add anything, but if you're going to make, say, milk chocolate, you would add milk or milk powders, or you would add sugar to taste.
And it would be during this process while you're
That's
getting
right.
it. Okay.
So now you're just going to work this, and you're going to kind of pound those nibs down. They're quite hard,
Okay.
and it takes a lot of muscle. So we'll be here about an hour.
I got that.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Here, let's check that out. So you want to give this a try?
All right. So this is.
It's still a little gritty, but
Okay.
not like the nibs that you just tried.
Oh, it's really good.
Yeah.
Now that I've had a few bourbon balls and seen how they are made, I just might have the courage to roll up my sleeves and see if I can hand make a few of these world-famous delights.
You're gonna want to put them in. You want to put them in all at the same angle to where you're gonna get the same look.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh gosh, I'm doing these 2 rows, huh? You'll pick up my slack.
Yes.
Thanks. Do you ever get tempted to eat one? I mean, really, when no one's looking, are you just like, I was scared I was going to have a Lucille Ball moment here with you guys turning it up really fast and not knowing where to put them.
No, they wouldn't do that to you.
You guys are nice. Of course, then you'd have to be Ethel, so that wouldn't really work.
Yeah.
Be sure to add Rebecca Ruth Candy Tour to your list. Not only will you walk away with a richly steeped history lesson, but you'll get 2 of the best tastes in the world, chocolate and bourbon. This farm outside Bowling Green, Kentucky has been in the Chaney family since 1888. But less than 10 years ago, the Chaneys decided to turn their traditional dairy business into a unique restaurant and attraction, right here in this big red barn. I consider myself a bit of an ice cream connoisseur, and I'm not sure I've ever tasted better. But trying everything they make here will take a while. There are 32 regular homemade flavors, not to mention the constantly changing seasonal choices. But ice cream isn't the only thing the Chaneys offer at the Big Red Barn. Their country store features food and crafts from all over Kentucky, and their restaurant can fill you up at lunch or dinner. Well, I'm here with Carl Chaney, and he and his wife, Deborah, own Chaney's Dairy Barn. Not only is it kind of a destination spot where you can really get that connection back to the farm and just a good, clean family fun, but you also are really known, and it's kind of legendary, your ice cream.
Wow, this sounds great.
Do you want to go there and check it out?
Absolutely, I think so. Yes, ma'am.
Well, tell me a little bit about how your ice cream has really started to just kind of grow and people are getting excited about it. It's a good product.
Well, it kind of goes back to in 2003 when we opened the dairy barn, and for the 2 years previous before that, what we started doing was looking and researching what we needed to do to add to the farm. Because I got to be honest with you, dairy farming is a very cyclical business, and there's a lot of times when you don't make ends meet. So we were trying to figure out a way to keep our family on the farm. I mean, my grandson will be 6th generation. So, you know, my dad took it through the Depression. So I kind of considered a pretty heavy responsibility to be able to pass it on. My wife and I, Deborah, started looking at a way to add value to our farm. We eventually settled on the ice cream, and ever since then, I think the first year we made a little over 4,000 gallons of ice cream. Last year we made about 16,000 gallons of ice cream, and this year we'll probably make around 18,000 gallons of ice cream, so it's continually grown.
In addition to the restaurant, which I know a lot of people know you for, you also have slides and have these kind of hay rides and climbing domes, and then you do family movies, right, during the summer?
Yes, ma'am. It's agritourism. Agriculture with tourism involved. So USA Today put out a thing about 2 years ago, and they had us listed as the #1 ice cream in Kentucky. And the television show Justified picked up and actually did a little scene where they were showing our ice cream. So we have been really blessed, you know.
Well, like I said, it's legendary, and I'm actually excited to get in there, roll up my sleeves, and maybe make some ice cream.
Hey, now that's fun. But you know, you got to sample the stuff.
I was just going to say, you got to taste it.
Can you do that?
I think I can do that.
All
Twist. You want to twist my
I'll
arm
twist
for me?
your arm. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right,
Yes,
I'll
ma'am.
do that.
Well, I'm here with Brandon Gabbard, and he is the manager of ice cream making here at Chaney's Dairy Barn. And first off, I have to say, that's a pretty fun job.
Yeah, I love my job here, so it's a great role. Every day's different.
Well, how do you guys come up with all the different ice cream flavors that you have?
It's kind of a joint effort. I help, and Deborah and Carl are different employees. We just kind of sit down and we come up with just a name, and we just kind of take the ice cream, how crazy, what kind of stuff's in it, and come up with an interesting name.
I'm sure there are lots of tastings happening.
Oh yes, oh yes.
That's a nice perk to the job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're kind of starting to grow in popularity, and people are really starting to have name recognition and know who you all are. And do you just attribute that to a really great product?
You know, we just want a great product. We've sent out more ice cream this year wholesale-wise than we have in the years past. So.
Okay, well, I understand I get to make some ice cream. I'm really sad about it too.
Oh,
it just sounds
boy.
so awful.
Yeah, we're fixing to make some Wow Now Brownie Cow, which
Okay.
is it's our chocolate lovers. It's a chocolate-based ice cream, and it has chocolate swirl, brownies, and chocolate flakes all mixed in. So
Wow.
it's a chocolate lover ice cream. And that's how we make ice cream. After it's sitting there for about 24 hours, then it will be ready to be served and for the public to enjoy. So
Wow, so 12 minutes to make, 24 hours to set up, and
ready to go.
probably about 5 minutes to devour.
Yep. So it doesn't
Okay.
take that much. But thank you all for coming.
Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm here with Sharia, and so far you're like my favorite because you're actually going to help me with the tasting, which is got to be by far the best part of the job. And you're a shift leader here,
Yep.
so you get up close and personal with all the food and everything, and,
Yeah.
and you know a lot about the local ingredients that are in your ice creams. Tell me what you've selected here.
Okay, what I've selected, the blue one is a sweet vanilla with a little bit of a blue raspberry. It's a kid favorite. All the kids get it. They think it's so cool, and it's a really fun color to play with.
All right, do you like it? Have you tried it?
I have once or twice. I don't eat it much.
Okay.
It's not much of a.
Oh yeah, it's good, but it is very vanilla-y.
Yep.
It kind of just tastes like vanilla, but it's a fun color. I can see why kids go for it.
Yeah.
Really good.
I'll have another bite of that.
Good. Okay, so what's this one?
This one, it is our Wow Now Brownie Cow.
Oh, I got to make some of this today with Brandon.
Yeah, this one's a very popular flavors for the chocolate lovers for sure.
Yes.
It's a chocolate ice cream with brownie chunks, chocolate chunks, and a fudge swirl.
Okay.
We made this for a local event. It's the Hospice Chocolate Festival,
Okay.
which raises money for the local hospice. We go every year. It's a huge event. People come from miles around to it. And Carl and Deborah go, and they serve this ice cream to everyone that's there.
Oh wow, I bet it's a big hit. It looks like just a chocolate lover's dream.
It is, definitely is.
Awesome. So good. Really good. I like it because, and Brandon was saying this, you can tell that it's, the brownies were added later because they still are moist and it still tastes like you just crumbled up brownie and put it on there.
Oh yeah.
Well, when you're starting with a good product like this, I can see where it's hard to go wrong. Well, thank you so much. This is awesome.
You're welcome.
I'm going to stay here and keep eating.
All right, you can have all that you want.
In the summer, the Cheneys host free movie nights with a family-friendly atmosphere and a huge screen under the stars. You can also relive your childhood with slides, a climbing dome, but don't get too carried away. They might just roll you out of there. And in the fall, there's a great corn maze to help you get lost in your youth. Next week on The Local Traveler, we went to the 4th annual Kentucky Proud Incredible Food Show. It was a day full of meeting, greeting, and eating. In addition to vendors, crafts, and seminars, there was also a chef you just might have heard of, Food Network celebrity chef Tyler Florence. This hunky chef inspired me to pick up his latest cookbook, and it was not just for the pictures. Join us on The Local Traveler as we uncover some incredible food. To learn more about the show, please visit us online at localtraveler.com.